Hello and welcome to the Transformation Channel. So, in this session, we would be talking about the first 5 steps that you can take when you are joining any organization as a transformation leader or a change agent or a project manager or a program manager to drive the transformation initiative for that particular organization. That would be our focus of attention in this session. So I am Nivarti Jairam. In this channel, we will be covering all the aspects of transformation. And in this series, currently we are focusing on agile transformation. So if you are keen to hear more on and follow what comes across from an agile transformation perspective, so please hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on the future videos that we are keen to publish. So, as part of the first 5 steps in agile transformation, when you are embarking on an agile transformation role, whether as a leader, as a change agent, or as even a coach, when you have the responsibility to take the transformation journey forward, there could be 3 scenarios which I am currently looking at, in for you to be starting off on. So, what are the 3 scenarios that we are referring to? The first of the scenarios that we are looking at is you are joining an organization with complete ownership to kick off the transformation right from scratch. That would be the first scenario. The possible second scenario is that the transformation is already in progress and you are kicking off transformation for a new geographical location, with whether you are part of an MNC and probably you are kicking off the transformation in the offshore, or if it's a multi-shore organization, you are possibly joining the organization for taking care of the transformation or driving the transformation in a specific location. That could be the second scenario we possibly come across. The third scenario is transformation is in progress in the organization and there is a predecessor that is running the program and you are joining the organization looking to replace that person. So that could be the possible third scenario that we can look at. Now, as part of this particular session, we will look at all 3 scenarios and also try to cover in each of the scenarios what is that you as a transformation leader or an agent look to do. So let's look at the first scenario where we talked about you being the person responsible to drive the transformation right from the beginning. Most of the times when we talk to the people on what you look to do as your first step when you are joining an organization, most people come across and say we should understand the why transformation is being driven in the first place. What is the reason for organizations to kick off that transformation? Yes, that is very much important, but I consider it to be, possibly the third step in how you would approach the first few days in an organization or first few months in an organization. So the first element that I look for when you are joining an organization as a transformation leader is to understand how you are positioned in the organization, and this plays a very critical and important role in your circle of influence, how you are able to drive, how much of an autonomy, how much of an influence you have in the system. And that is very much key to understand, and then you will be able to develop your strategy, whether it is for implementing or even engaging various stakeholders. All that would be driven by where you are positioned in the organization and how you are positioned in the organization. Your position, the place where you are starting off, will drive and define what is your level of access within the organization. So that is the first step for you to look at when you are joining any organization. Without that understanding, you may take steps or plan your strategy which you don't have much control on. So that is something very much needed for you to start off with. That understanding will define how much of impact you can make in the organization, what is the level of influence and autonomy and even authority you have, what is the level of people you can approach easily, you can influence easily. So that is the first step for us to understand. The second step for us to look at and try to find out of is who are the key stakeholders that can either positively influence the transformation journey, or also look at the people who are not really keen, means who can possibly look at I wouldn't say derail, but at least not so positive, aspects of influencing the organization. So that is something for us to look at from the second step for us as part of driving the transformation. If you are entirely getting into an organization that is looking to kick off this journey afresh. Now, the third point is to look at creating a business case, and this is where the identification of the why comes through. So, it is very much important to understand why the organization is looking to transform to agile, but that would be part of creating a business case if it's already not done. If business case is already done, then you would try to understand why they are driving this organization transformation itself, or if it is an entirely new initiative and you have to create a business case, then you will have to look at what all aspects you would cover as part of that business case. So we would look to do a separate session itself on the business case and how you can create a business case for getting the buy-in from the critical or key stakeholders for kicking off the transformation. But at a high level, what all should be part of the business case? The problem statement for any organization, what is the business problem you are trying to solve? You also look at what is the background that the organization has in terms of driving this transformation or embarking on this transformation journey. Look to find out why is the organization keen to embark on this journey. And if you have to look at the top 5 reasons why at all an organization should start off on the transformation journey, I will drop a card at the top. You can look at that video as well, where I specifically talk about the top 5 reasons which should drive an organization to focus on transforming. And also you can look at the another video which again talks about the top 5 reasons which an organization should not be focusing on. Both are key and very much important for you to understand. So idea is to develop a business case if it is not already existing and not already approved, and get to understand the current state of the organization, what's the gap that you are trying to fill, what are the opportunities and and also the threats. Opportunities that you plan to realize, the strengths that positively influence or contribute to your transformation journey. What are the threats that you as a transformation leader will need to be aware of and need to focus on. Also look at what alternatives you have for you to be looking at, what alternative options, why the is the best option that you are presenting, what considerations you have, and what is the ROI that you could drive for an organization. All these elements would be part of the business case, and as I said earlier, we would be looking at doing a separate session on the business case itself. And the next step for us to look at when you are trying to kick off this is to come up with your implementation strategy, a very high level implementation strategy as to whether you are going to go top down, bottom up, based on where the transformation is driven from. And also look at whether you're going to do a big bang approach, or you're going to do a pilot and then followed by a big bang, or pilot and then followed by a phase-wise approach. There could be different ways. Again, we would do a separate video on this particular element as well, and the pros and cons of each of those. And based on your implementation strategy, then you should start looking at building your team. The scope of transformation journey or the strategy that you have should drive the number of people that you want to bring in into the system, whether those are your change agents, whether they are the coaches that you want. And again, look at what should be the mix, whether you should have complete set of consultants driving the transformation, you need to have a combination of full time and the consultants. And again, that's another video that we will plan to cover. So these are the first 5 steps that you should ideally start with for kicking off a transformation journey in an organization that is absolutely afresh, means you are starting off right from scratch. If, as I said, the business case is already there and it is approved and you have the buy-in from stakeholders, then possibly read the business case, try to understand the why, look at the stakeholders who have actually approved the business case, try to have conversations with them, understand the reasons and the drivers behind the transformation. So then you can look to align your implementation strategy around those reasons, and rest of the steps remain the same. So the key change from an organization where the business case is already approved to an organization where you have to create a fresh business case is just that you need to understand the intricacies of the business case. Rest all remains the same. So that is about the first scenario that we are looking at, and you can look at the rest of the 2 scenarios in the upcoming video. And if you are again keen on understanding any particular topic, or you have certain questions on a specific topic that you want us to cover, please drop in your comments, and we will try to see when we are going to address it. And if it's not already on our backlog, we will try to include that in our backlog. Again, if you are appreciative of what is being discussed on this channel, please try to hit the subscribe button below and also hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on the future videos that we look forward to publish. Once again, thank you for watching, and your participation and active discussion is what makes this channel and the information experiences that we are putting across more effective and bring them alive. Thanks for watching.